I know you're a good person, but it's important to understand that not everyone is like you. Our hearts want to believe there's a solution for the world. We have hope in people. However, if we're not careful, we can get hurt. Unfortunately, there are many malicious people, and occasionally they will cross our paths. Pay attention to the signs and stay away from such people. You've probably met someone who is genuinely cruel, who hurts others' feelings without remorse and takes advantage of others' weaknesses. Sometimes these behaviors are so subtle that we don't even realize we're dealing with a bad person. Let's talk about the signs indicating you're dealing with someone like that. Some people will always try to make you feel guilty about a situation or pretend to like you in your presence but speak badly about you behind your back. It's important to be prepared because sometimes outsiders will try to disturb your peace, but other times it will be people from your own family. Family is a blessing from God. Of that, I have no doubt. But unfortunately, some people tend strongly towards a bad version of themselves. In today's video, I'll show you 9 signs, or rather, 10 signs, that you're dealing with a bad person and what you should do when these people cross your path. Before the first sign, make sure you've hit the like button if you're someone who loves learning about life wisdom. If possible, write this: people want to see you well but never better than them. This is pure truth. Let's go with the first sign. Number 1. Pleasure in others' pain. Evil people feel pleasure when seeing others suffer. If you know someone who seems to rejoice in others' pain, like laughing or smiling when seeing someone going through a difficult time, that's a clear sign you're dealing with a bad person. This behavior shows a total lack of empathy and can lead to harmful situations created by them for their own pleasure. Imagine a coworker who, instead of offering help when you're overwhelmed, laughs at your difficulties, or a friend who, upon hearing about your personal problem, makes jokes instead of offering support. These attitudes are not only insensitive but reveal a cruel character. Such people may even deliberately provoke bad situations for others just to have the pleasure of seeing someone suffer. They can also spread gossip and create conflicts, all to see people's reactions and enjoy the chaos they've caused. It's important to recognize these signs early and distance yourself from those who exhibit this type of behavior to protect your own emotional health and well-being. Number 2. Need to control your life. Evil people are extremely controlling. They feel uncomfortable and powerless if they don't control every aspect of their lives and the lives of those around them. They will do everything possible to ensure things happen according to their wishes and will abuse power if they don't encounter resistance. Think of that boss who insists on reviewing every little detail of your work, not because they want to help, but because they need to have total control, or that friend who always decides where you go, what you do, and with whom without considering others' opinions. These attitudes show an obsession with control that can be suffocating. These people can also manipulate situations to maintain control, creating rigid rules or using emotional blackmail. A classic example is a partner who constantly monitors where you are and who you're talking to, not out of concern but out of a need to dominate your life. This need for control is not only irritating but can be dangerous. Such people often use their power to exploit and abuse others. Recognizing these behaviors and setting clear boundaries is essential to protect your independence and emotional well-being. If you notice someone trying to control every aspect of your life, it's important to take steps to distance yourself and regain your autonomy. Number 3. Strange feeling when you're around them. One of the clearest signs you're dealing with a bad person is feeling strange around them. You might feel tired, restless, or simply uncomfortable in their presence. This could be your natural instinct warning you that something is wrong. Imagine being at a family gathering where everyone is having fun, but there's one person who always makes you feel tense and uncomfortable whenever they're around. Even if that person isn't doing anything directly to you, their mere presence is enough to generate a feeling of discomfort. This could indicate that the person has negative energy or malicious intentions. Another example is a coworker who makes you feel anxious or exhausted every time they approach you. You might not be able to pinpoint exactly what's wrong, but your body and mind seem to recognize that something is off. These sensations shouldn't be ignored. Our instincts often pick up on signals that our conscious mind may not perceive. If you constantly feel uncomfortable in someone's presence, this is a warning that the person may not have good intentions. Paying attention to these feelings and giving them importance can help you avoid harmful situations and maintain your inner peace. Number 4. Lack of responsibility. Evil people never take responsibility for their actions. They always blame others when something goes wrong and like to play the victim. They don't acknowledge their mistakes and make you apologize for them. Imagine a coworker who makes a mistake on an important project. Instead of admitting the fault, they quickly point the finger at you or someone else on the team, saying the blame is on everyone but them. This not only creates a toxic work environment, but also makes you feel unfairly blamed. Another example is a friend who constantly gets into trouble and, instead of accepting that their choices led to those situations, always blames others. If they're late for an appointment, it's the traffic or someone else who made them late. If something goes wrong in their life, they never look at their own actions but always find a way to blame others and play the victim. These people are also experts at making you feel guilty for their mistakes. They manipulate situations so that you end up apologizing for something that isn't even your responsibility. This is emotionally draining and can erode your self-esteem over time. Recognizing these behaviors is crucial to maintaining your mental and emotional health. People who never take responsibility for their actions can drag you into a cycle of guilt and manipulation. Learning to identify and distance yourself from these people is essential to preserving your well-being. Number 5. Habit of lying. Evil people have the terrible habit of lying constantly. They lie for their benefit and often lie just for fun or to manipulate others. They don't value your trust or friendship, prioritizing only their own interests. Imagine a coworker who always makes up stories about their achievements at work, exaggerating or even fabricating facts to stand out, or that friend who says they couldn't attend your event because they were sick, but you find out they were somewhere else having fun. These lies are not only dishonest but show a total lack of respect for you and others. Liars frequently use their lies to manipulate situations and people. For example, a partner who lies about their feelings or intentions to keep you under control or gain an advantage in an argument. They can also invent gossip or spread misinformation to cause conflicts among friends or colleagues, all for fun or to benefit in some way. These lies may be small and seemingly harmless at first, but over time they erode trust and harm relationships. If someone lies repeatedly, even about trivial things, it's a clear sign that the person doesn't respect you and is willing to sacrifice your trust to gain something. Recognizing and confronting these lies is essential to maintaining healthy relationships. If you realize someone has a constant habit of lying, it's important to assess the impact of that person on your life and consider if it's possible to maintain a trustworthy relationship with them. Honesty is the foundation of any solid relationship, and people who lie constantly cannot offer that foundation. Number 6. Absence of remorse. Evil people don't feel remorse for their actions. They never feel guilty about the negative impact they have on others. When confronted, they manipulate the situation to make you doubt your perception of reality. Imagine a colleague taking credit for your work, and when you confront them, they show no regret. Instead, they try to justify their actions by saying you wouldn't have achieved it alone, or they were just helping you shine. This kind of behavior shows a total lack of empathy and remorse, revealing a deeply selfish and manipulative character. Another example is a friend who constantly makes malicious or hurtful comments. When you try to talk about how those comments affect you, they laugh and say you're overreacting, or even suggest you're too sensitive. This behavior not only shows a lack of remorse but also attempts to distort your perception of reality, making you question your feelings. These people are masters at turning the situation around. If you point out a mistake or harmful behavior, they quickly become the victims, making you feel wrong for bringing up the issue. This emotional manipulation is a clear sign that the person has no true remorse for what they do and is more concerned with protecting their image. Recognizing the absence of remorse is crucial to protecting your emotional health. People who don't feel guilt for hurting others can continue repeating these harmful behaviors, knowing there will be no real consequences for them. Identifying this trait and setting clear boundaries is essential to protect yourself and maintain healthy relationships. If someone repeatedly shows a lack of remorse, it's important to consider distancing yourself from that person to preserve your well-being. Number 7. Cruelty. Some evil people prefer to act openly and cruelly. They can be aggressive, hurting others with words or actions, and delight in others' suffering. The lack of empathy and the ability to intentionally inflict pain are distinctive characteristics of this type of person. Think of a coworker who doesn't hesitate to make malicious or humiliating comments in front of others. They may point out your faults cruelly or ridicule your ideas during meetings, not to offer constructive criticism but to demoralize you. This behavior not only destroys the group's morale but also creates a toxic and oppressive work environment. Another example is a friend who makes jokes about your insecurities or personal problems. Knowing it hurts you, they may mock you for something you shared in confidence, exposing your vulnerability for their own amusement. This cruel behavior demonstrates a lack of empathy and respect for your feelings. Cruelty can also manifest in physical actions. For example, a partner who uses violence or threats to control and intimidate you, or a family member who imposes harsh punishments or humiliates you in front of others. These actions go beyond mere disagreements or conflicts. They are intentional acts of harm. Recognizing cruelty in people's behaviors is crucial for your protection. Those who are intentionally cruel can cause lasting damage to your emotional and physical health. Setting firm boundaries and seeking help when needed is essential to avoid being a victim of such behavior. If you notice someone acting cruelly, it's important to take steps to distance yourself from that person and seek support to protect your well-being. Cruelty is never acceptable, and those who engage in such behavior should be held accountable for their actions. Number 8. Manipulation. Evil people are experts at manipulation. They use their skills to influence others for their benefit, often using emotional tactics. If you feel like you're constantly being manipulated into doing things against your will or interest, it's a sign you're dealing with a bad person. Imagine a colleague who constantly asks for favors, framing them as urgent or essential, but never reciprocates or acknowledges your help. They may use flattery or guilt to get you to do what they want, making you feel obliged to comply. This manipulation creates an imbalance in the relationship, where you are always giving and they are always taking. Another example is a friend who uses your emotions to their advantage. They may share exaggerated stories of their problems to elicit your sympathy and get you to lend them money or do favors. If you refuse or question their intentions, they may make you feel guilty, saying you're not a good friend or don't care about them. This emotional blackmail is a clear sign of manipulation. Manipulative people can also distort facts and situations to suit their needs. They may tell half-truths or omit important details to influence your decisions, making you act in ways that benefit them. This can happen in personal relationships, at work, or in social situations. Recognizing manipulation is crucial to protecting your autonomy and well-being. If you feel like someone is constantly trying to influence you for their benefit, it's important to set clear boundaries and assert your needs. Manipulation can erode your self-esteem and make you doubt your own judgment, so it's essential to address it early and seek support if needed. Number 9. Always the victim. Bad people often play the victim to avoid responsibility and manipulate others. They twist situations to make themselves look like the wronged party, making you feel guilty or obliged to help them. This constant victimization is a strategy to control and manipulate those around them. Imagine a coworker who always has an excuse for not completing their tasks and blames external factors or other people for their failures. When confronted, they quickly portray themselves as the victim of circumstances, making you feel bad for even questioning them. This behavior not only affects their performance but also creates a toxic work environment. Another example is a friend who constantly has drama in their life and always blames others for their problems. They may seek your sympathy and help, but when things don't improve, they never take responsibility for their own actions. Instead, they always find someone else to blame, perpetuating a cycle of victimization. These people can also use their victim status to manipulate you emotionally. They may cry or express exaggerated distress to make you feel guilty for not helping them, even if their problems are self-inflicted. This manipulation makes you feel responsible for their well-being, leading you to go out of your way to support them, often at your own expense. Recognizing this behavior is crucial to protecting your emotional health. People who always play the victim can drain your energy and make you feel guilty for their issues. Setting clear boundaries and encouraging them to take responsibility for their actions is essential to maintaining a healthy relationship. If someone constantly portrays themselves as the victim, it's important to assess the impact of their behavior on your life and consider distancing yourself if it becomes too draining. Number 10. Insincere flattery. Bad people often use insincere flattery to manipulate and control others. They praise you excessively to gain your trust and make you more susceptible to their influence. This flattery is not genuine and is used as a tool for manipulation. Imagine a colleague who always compliments your work, telling you that you're the best and that they couldn't do anything without you. While this might seem flattering at first, you soon realize that they only do it when they need something from you. Once they've gotten what they want, the flattery stops, and they become distant or even dismissive. Another example is a friend who showers you with compliments about your appearance, talents, or achievements, but only when they need a favor or want to borrow something. This insincere praise is a way to make you feel good and more likely to help them, but it lacks genuine appreciation or respect. Insincere flattery can also be used to manipulate situations. For example, a partner who constantly tells you how amazing you are, only to guilt-trip you later into doing something you don't want to do. This tactic is used to make you feel special and valued, but it's actually a form of emotional manipulation. Recognizing insincere flattery is important to protect yourself from manipulation. People who use excessive praise to influence you are not genuinely interested in your well-being. They are only focused on their own gain. Being aware of this behavior and setting clear boundaries can help you avoid being manipulated. If you notice someone using flattery to control or influence you, it's important to assess their true intentions and take steps to protect yourself from their manipulative tactics. Genuine praise comes from a place of honesty and respect, not from a desire to manipulate and control. These signs can help you identify and avoid bad people in your life. It's important to be vigilant and set boundaries to protect your emotional and mental well-being. If you recognize these behaviors in someone around you, take steps to distance yourself and seek support if needed. Remember, your well-being is a priority, and it's essential to surround yourself with positive and supportive people.